The second question related to the case that was announced and picked up yesterday in relation to a traveller that came from overseas, travelled on Turkish Airlines and came into Singapore. The information continues to come in as we carry out our epidemiological investigations and contact tracing. The information so far is that this particular traveller was symptomatic on the flight into Singapore, and that flight had come from a country in Europe into Singapore. As a result of him being symptomatic, he was therefore, when he presented to NCID, was treated as a suspect case, and subsequently when diagnosis of COVID-19 was made, contact tracing was then carried out to try and isolate individuals who were still in Singapore. This would include two groups of people as far as the flight is concerned. First of all, the passengers that will be sitting in close proximity to him within the flight itself, and typically our current protocol involves identifying individuals who are sat within two seats, two rows in front, two rows behind, as well as on the same row itself, in order to identify that zone of higher risk of exposure. And all individuals who currently remain in Singapore would be therefore contact traced with a view towards isolating them. If these travellers have in fact left Singapore, that information that is handed over to our counterparts in the respective countries where they have travelled to, for them therefore to continue their own investigations into the state of health of these particular individuals. The second group of people that we're most concerned about will be then the cabin crew, for which they would also have been exposed as a result of their work on the flight, attending to the passengers on the flight, including this sick individual. And it was with this intent, therefore, that we issued quarantine orders for the cabin crew that in fact were exposed and therefore at risk. This unfortunately meant that Turkish Airlines would have had to make arrangements at short notice as a result, because the same crew was originally intended to have a short stay over in Singapore and therefore continue their work on the return flight, the return leg of this flight back to the original country. Unfortunately, as a result of these cabin crew members having to be isolated, that flight could therefore not carry on with passengers, and urgent arrangements therefore had to be made by the airline.